Hey, you know this one. You love this one. It's Wario Land, Super Mario Land 3, but more importantly, Wario Land. Now, why are we playing this one? What? Why are we playing this one, you may ask? And I have the answers for you. And first, I want to make it clear we're not going to play all of this one. We've already played all this one, like 4 years ago. Yikes! We did the entire LP of this game. We being you and me, not we as me thinking me royal, me not royal, me not very good. But you know, we as in us. We did this one 4 years ago. Yikes! But I had a few things I wanted to come back and I wanted to take a look at this game. I have 3 purposes of this video. Purpose the first is color palettes. As you can see here, we got a green color palette here. If in the original LP we used the Super Game Boy's 1A color palette, because this is what I knew. I was like, yeah, we'll do the Super Game Boy color palette, and this is the color palette that I know and the one I understand. But there are other color palettes we can use, and the color palette that we started off with is BGB's 0.3 Grayscale. So, you know, it's like green like the Game Boy, but with nice green colors instead of the weird muddy green from the original Game Boy. And they have another one like this LCD green, but I like this 0.3 green that they have better. So I figured we'd come back and take a look at this game and some other color palettes. You know, just kind of have a chill time. This isn't going to be like a complicated video or anything. We're not going to be showing off anything too difficult. But like I said, there are 3 things I want to do. And that was the reason the first was, let's take a look at some color palettes, have a good time. Reason the second, we just played a bunch of Mario, and I don't want his grotesque, bloated ego getting any larger. So, you know, we got to come back and respect the things we love, and I don't know why things are flashing this way. I assume it probably has something to do with sprite limitations or whatever. I don't know. It's an emulator. Things are weird, you know. And it's doing its best, and it's a good emulator, and I enjoy it. So yeah, we're just gonna play a couple levels. We're gonna swap around color palettes from time to time. I just figured, you know, we'd come take a look and see what the game could look like in other color palettes than the weird orange and blue that we had in the LP. And you know, I'm actually a big fan of this like aesthetic green. Like, oh, what did the Game Boy look like? And people like kind of like, yes, this is what the Game Boy looked like. Like this kind of green, where it's like, you know, a very like nice green colors. You know, green's my favorite color, so this is like, I'm all for it. You know, as opposed to the weird, very like murky, muddy, gross green from like the actual screen. I always really like this kind of like, yes, this is what the Game Boy looked like. Thank you for my brain and painting it a different way. I appreciate it. So yeah, you know, we're gonna look at some color palettes. We're gonna stick it to Mario. You know. Can't let him think he's the hot shit that, you know, the world has led him to believe. You know, Mickey Mouse, the true Mickey Mouse. Because when you think of Mickey Mouse is just kind of like a big corporate like J.O. But you know, the Mario's what the Mickey Mouse wishes he was. And I say that like it's a joke, but that's kind of like a weird opinion I've had. Like, yeah, for, you know, because like Mickey Mouse isn't much of like Mickey Mouse is basically just an icon at this point. There isn't much to Mickey Mouse. He's just this weird, like, yeah, nice boy who makes a million, bajillion, infinite money. And, you know, Mario's kind of the same way, but you know, Mario's kind of, like, still got that kind of, like, icon thing going for him. But, you know, that also, like, I'm afraid to announce that on the gamer, so, you know, that might be coloring my perceptions. And can you not do the up B as a... Oh, no, it was just because the fire was going. It's been a while since I played this game. In fact, I would say it's been perhaps 4 years since I played. I haven't played... Oh my god, I forgot how quick he gets at the end of the game, because this is a completed version of this game. But yeah, you know, like, I'm a gamer, so, you know, Mario has that kind of appeal that I guess maybe Mickey's lost over the years. Although there's some new Mickey Mouse cartoon like little shorts that are actually very, very good. So you know, sometimes you know, maybe the mouse ain't so bad. But Mario, you know, Mario's been in some good games, so maybe the Super Mario ain't so bad either. But you know, he can go suck it, because Wario, he's the true boy. Yes, look at all the great treasure and all the money that is on this file that I found on. I think I got this file off of the speedrunning website, where I was just like, I need a completed file for this, because my file from the LP was trapped on my old computer when it died. So rest in peace. And yeah, I just figured we'd just go and play some random levels on, you know, I've been using this color palette for a while. I almost just, like, went into, like, autopilot mode. And BGB has a lot of like pre-installed things, like, oh, here's like just like gray, and like they have, here's brown if you wanted to play it in a brown color for whatever reason. Here's what the Game Boy kiosk it would have looked like with their weird yellow screens instead of green. Like, it's a weird yellow green, whatever. KGB green. I'm guessing this is a different emulator. It's kind of like Game Boy Pocket-y. And they have like weird things like, oh, here's all red, or all blue. This is the video, by the way. This is the entire video. We're just gonna be playing around with some color schemes, and we'll go ahead and we'll do this grayscale. This is kind of what you think of. We won't do the entire level like this. This is a high contrast gray, so you got like your perfect white, your perfect black in the background. Just for high contrast, make it easy to see. And we probably won't play the entire level like this, and I can't seem to get through that door. But just take a look at it, because I feel like most people who like do LPs of this game, and by that I mean, other than mine, I have watched Proton John's, and he used a grayscale one. I believe he used a grayscale one. I feel like grayscale is probably the color palette most people go with. It feels like the safest choice. Like, it's very inoffensive. It gets the point across. But, there's more fun we could be having with color palettes. I'm going to go and, I guess, pause the game, just because I guess there is a timed concept to this game. Jesus. There's a timed element to this game. This is the Super Game Boy's 1B color palette, which I believe, if the Mario Wiki has not punked me, the default Super Game Boy color palette for this video to game. I believe I mentioned it whenever we played Mario Land 1, and I believe I mentioned it in the first episode of Mario Land 2. But whenever I did the original like Game Boy like LPs like this one, and for the Frog, the Bell Tolls, or whatever the name of that game is, I always forget the order of the words and which words are actually in the name. Whoops. It's in Japanese, like Karu wo. I don't know. It is like Kaeru, because it's like frog or whatever, I think. Karo. Karo is like the noise they make, and I think frog's like Karo. I don't know. But the point is, the games that weren't like actually properly like Super Game Boy enhanced, which was most of them. There are very few that were like, yes, this is a Super Game Boy enhanced video game. Like I believe like Donkey Kong Game Boy was 94. I can never remember what year it was. 96, I think 94. That game's great, by the way. I love that video game. But where there are very few games like that where it's like actually enhanced by the Game Boy, Super Game Boy, where they like do like more complex color palettes and etc. etc. I believe like earlier games like this, and I don't know if all games did it, but I know that these three did it, where they had like a default color palette where it would pick from the Game Boy's like 36 or so, however many. I think it's like, God, how many colors? I think it's like whatever 6 times G is. I think I can't remember how far they go into the hexadecimal. These are the kinds of things I should know off the top of my head, like if the words I'm using is correct. But I don't remember, and I can't be bothered to remember what hex is. And like I could stop and like, okay, well I'll figure out how many numbers, and then I'll count out the but we're not going to do that. We're not going to worry about it. That's not the important thing. The important thing is color palettes. I believe this is the default color palette, as long as the Mario Wiki has not punked me, that this game would choose. And it makes sense. You get like it's a nice color palette. You get your like kind of like yellow and orange. So it's like, oh yeah, it's very Wario-y, where it's you got your yellow. It'd be more Wario-y if the black was purple. But I mean, I doubt the designers of the Super Game Boy were like, yes, we will make a color palette specifically for the Wario video games, which they should have, because the people who did the Super Game Boy were probably still R&D 1. So Wario was their baby. And, maybe they should have treated their baby a little bit better. Oh, and I guess, oh man, I was hoping we could fight some bosses, but I guess they'll be already defeated in this video game. So there's that. There was a third reason I wanted to play this. And this is probably the only scientific thing we're here to do, but throughout the LP, I always just chose the one on the left to be quick. Just because I was like, it's a random chance. Who cares? And I don't exactly know how the random seed works out for this. And I made a safe state before we started this, just because I'm interested to see if it's randomized every single time, or if if it's random like as soon as you pull, so the one you pulled doesn't actually matter, or if it's seeded ahead of time, just out of interest. So we got it wrong every single time there. So now I'm gonna Go ahead and where's the save state? Quick load. So okay, so now I'm going to choose all the same things again, just to see what happens. And it's probably going to be the 10-ton weight, because I assume the randomized seed isn't randomized the second you pick the bucket, because then that would make the choice. Oh, so it is. Okay, so it is randomized at some point. It's not like, oh, your entire game will always be randomized this way, because, you know, I'm going to go ahead and just load it again, see what happens. Maybe it is randomized, like, whenever you pick the bucket, which makes your choice not matter at all. Or maybe it's, you know, well, you know, like, oh, if I had picked the other one, I'd be right, which would be correct, but the fact that it's randomized every single time. Okay, well, looks like it's about the same as what we got last time, so, I don't know, interesting. I'm gonna just go one mo again, just see what happens. Did we get a double on the first one in my brain? Like, maybe we got a double on the first one and I just wasn't paying attention, because I thought we got a weight. I thought we got 3 weights. Okay, yeah. So it is changing at some point. Still don't exactly understand the nature of the randomization, but it's not randomized as a whole and it's set in stone. Like, oh, you know, like if you had picked this way, this would have been correct forever. I suppose. I don't know. Like, who knows? All I know is the randomization isn't like set as soon as you walk into that room. That was all I wanted to check. So like what I did in the LP, just picking left every single time was valid, and no one will ever take that away from me. Here is 1F. I believe this is the color palette that we used for Mario Land 1, which looks very good for that game, but not so good for other games. And how does Wario... Oh, yes, Wario doesn't actually proceed from here. How do I back out? Yeah, because you get shot out of a cannon up to Parsley Woods. Oh, no, actually, there is a level in Parsley Woods I wanted to play. So let's go back there. And yeah, we're not gonna use this 1F color palette. Do we want to use the 3... Let's use a little bit of the 3D color palette, because this is the color palette, the... which one of these is the train level? I think this one's the train level. Is this 30? Yeah, 35. This is the train level. Cool, I wanted to play this one. This actually doesn't look too terribly bad. You know, the green's a little weird. This is the default color palette for Super Mario Land 2, which, you know, like, I kind of get why they would pick it as a default color palette where, like, oh, the green can kind of end up as grass, and it did very often end up as grass, but there's a lot of things the green ends up not being, so 3D just ends up being a little bit of a weird color palette. Like, you know, it's very similar to the 1B. Like, a lot of the color palettes are very similar to each other where, like, as you, like, progress up the thing where it's like, oh, these, you know, like, this won't correlate exactly, but, you know, like, oh, 2G and 3G are very similar, but there's just a very small difference. Like, that isn't the same for every single one, but, you know, sometimes there's the same color palette with just a very small difference. So, you know, like, it's not a bad color palette, but, you know, whatever. No, hey, the background keeps scrolling whenever you pause. Let's see, what's this? 4C. Oh, yes, I thought this was a cool Super Game Boy Color palette, because, like I mentioned, in the Mario Land 2 LP, I was going back and forth with, like, color palettes and playing around with them a lot because I didn't know which color palette to use, because I was like, damn, like, I'm not really feeling any of these color palettes in particular. Like, I was thinking about using something like this because, like, I like the colors for this. I think it's really cool looking. But I was like, maybe all that pink will end up being a little bit weird. No, yeah, I'll stick with Bull Wario, you know, so we can do a ground pound, because I just always feel so naked when you can't ground pound as Wario. Honestly, not being able to ground pound at the beginning of Wario Land 3 is probably one of the, like, big reasons why I think I like Wario Land 2 more than Wario Land 3, because Wario Land 3, like, mid to late game, I love Wario Land 3, but early on, I just feel so naked in Wario Land 3, not being able to ground pound and shit. It's so weird. But, you know, whatever. But, you know, like, I think this is a really cool color palette, and I almost was like, maybe I should do the LP with this one. Like, I think it would be really cool, but I was like, maybe the pink will be a little bit weird. I'm not entirely sure, because YouTube can be weird with colors, and, you know, maybe it'll end up being weird for, like, oh, someone, like, with a certain, like, color blindness or whatever, like, oh, I can't see things properly, which is why I ended up deciding to use the colored one, which, now that I think about it, could have possibly been worse. You know, sometimes my brain doesn't entirely work, and that's fine. I mean, it's not fine, you know, because sometimes you do bad things where you're like, don't entirely think about your actions, but you guys have come to expect that probably, unless this is your first video, which would be very confusing, because at the beginning of this I said, hey, I LP'd this in full, and you were like, yeah, no, I want to watch the stupid one where you mess with the colors, which also vocalizing that out loud, I understand it. You know, the stupid Wario review mess with the colors is a pretty good time. 4G. Oh yeah, 4G. I was like, I wanted to know what the hell was up with this color palette, because I was like, this color palette's probably awful, and it is. Maybe I messed up the order, because you know, the way the thing showed me like which ones were the color palettes. You know, the way the colors were organized weren't entirely intuitive, so I might have gotten them wrong, because this does not look right. This is such a bad looking color palette. Like, it's like nightmare vomit. That's kind of what it is. It's so weird looking, but you know, we'll just finish out the level with this weird thing. And oh my god, I missed. This is hands down one of my favorite things about the game, being able to like charge off the side of things and just stay suspended in the air. It's super good. I love it so much. And I wonder if Wario's speed at the end of the game, oh my god, the color palette, it's so bad. I wonder if the, you know what, we'll stick with the left. I was like, we'll do right this time, but no, fuck the right. It's all about the left, baby. You could quote me on that one. So, you know, we'll stick with the right, we'll keep doing our thing, and this color palette sucks, we'll swap to a different one. I don't know how long this video will end up being, because it's already like, I don't know, we've been recording for like, what, my thing says 18 minutes, but I started to record, I always hit record, and then I like dick around a little bit instead of like, just, you know, recording, because I don't know, I'm an idiot. You guys know this color palette's so bad. I have to have put this in wrong, but honestly, I don't see any way, anything the red could swap for that would make it any, like, oh my god, that actually is pretty cool. That's actually a pretty good look for Parsley Woods. I will say that, and I do actually want to, before we back out of this color palette, I want to see the Syrup Castle. That's what it is, right? Yeah, it's Syrup Castle. Yeah, I wanted to see it with this color palette, because it'll probably look pretty cool with the flashing. These were all the, like, quote-unquote official things. Like, you know, most of these have been Super Game Boy color palettes. You know, we looked at the green and the gray. But I have 3 here that aren't, well, okay. This one says it's a Super Game Boy color palette, but it wasn't an official one. Or it wasn't one of the standard ones, I should say. This one is Pokemon Super Game Boy color palette, which I'm guessing Pokemon Blue and Red and Blue. I was going to say Blue and Red because I like Blue more, so Blue came to mind first, but it sounds weird to say Blue and Red because, you know, it's historically been Red and Blue. So I don't know if the Super Game Boy just uses this color palette for Pokemon and is just like, yeah, that's good, instead of like doing like what the Game Boy Color does with like the different towns having different colors. Maybe that's just yellow. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's just yellow now that I say that out loud. How do you do this? You punch it from the side. Yeah, cool. And this was almost like what I used for Mario Land 2. Like, I mean, you know, obviously I've said that about like 3 things at this point, because, you know, I said it about that pink one where I was like, oh, this pink's actually pretty cool. There's another one that these custom color palettes we're about to be getting into that I was like, almost like, oh, I should do it with this one just because it's kind of a fun color palette. But like, I really like the way this one looks. I think it looks pretty damn good with the purple and the yellow. It's very Wario-y now that I think about it. You know, if I were to redo the Wario Land LP, which I mean I'm not going to, because I think I'm pretty happy with that LP. I haven't watched it since I like made it and edited it and junk, but pretty sure, pretty happy with it. I'm hoping it doesn't suck. Maybe it does. But if for whatever reason I ever had to redo that LP, I'd probably use this color palette because it's pretty good looking. I like the way it looks. It's very, it like I mentioned earlier with the green Game Boy Color palette we looked at. Like it very much nicely fulfills that, like, oh yes, this is what the Game Boy was kind of aesthetic color palette you would expect. It's very good looking. I like it. Also, unfortunately, nobody's done a color hack of Wario Land to my knowledge. At least not on like the game hack thing where I got the thing. This next one's pretty similar to this one. It's called Grapefruit by Graphics Kid. There was some color palette website that I was looking at when I started to panic that I wasn't happy with any of the Super Game Boy color palettes for Mario Land, and I found this one. I'm like, well, this one looks pretty good. In fact, this one's pretty Wario as well. Like, I don't think it's as nice looking as the other one, because the other ones, the colors are a bit softer, which I appreciate. Oops, and I got, which how do you beat this guy whenever you can just walk up from behind and then he stabs us. That's fine. I was like, yeah, can you beat that guy without tackling? And of course you can, because this is a good video game. And now we have to do that entire level again. I don't know if we'll end up finishing this level, because I don't remember if this level's particularly long or anything. But, you know, we'll have a go at it. And yeah, like, I think this is a good color palette. I think it's very nice looking. But honestly, I just like the softness of the other color palette. I think it's very nice. And, you know, we'll probably move on to the other one. Like, I'm not really sure how far we'll be going into this level. So once again, don't really remember how long this level is. It's the last level of the video game, so I assume it's a little lengthy, and maybe we should go ahead. You know what? I don't think we ever used the checkpoint in the main LP, so we did it, and then I got nice. Is there another checkpoint? Because this seems relatively early in the level to be giving us a checkpoint. After we beat the knight, how about that? After we beat the knight, we'll go ahead and swap to the other color palette. And then we'll play it by ear from there as to where we'll be ending this video off. Like, you know, I told you at the front, you know, this is just kind of a screwing around, looking at color palettes. Let Mario know that, you know, just because we played a few of his games doesn't mean he's the man, like he thinks he is. And may technically be, because, you know, he's the mascot boy. He's the one who got the Super Mario Odyssey. We didn't get a Super Wario Odyssey, even though Super Wario Odyssey would have ruled, A, and B, the mechanics in Mario Odyssey were very geared towards a very Wario-centric gameplay. You know, because, like, you, like, possess your enemies, which seems like a very good, very good evolution of the... Let me go ahead and just grab a power-up before I get God again. It feels like a good evolution of the transformation system in Wario Land, because, you know, like, oh, you get got by your enemy, and then, you know, you take on some aspect determined on how that enemy got you. And, you know, just being able to just straight up, like, oh, yeah, now I'm the enemy. It's a very good, like, oh, yes, this is a very good Wario thing. And possessing someone always... It feels a little, like... a little much for Mario, because, you know, he's a little goody two shoes baby, you know, like, you know, goody two shoes. I'm the man with the wah. God, I wish I could have remembered that quote better off the top of my head. It's been a few years since I watched the Evil Dead movies. I used to watch them. There was like a period of like 3 years in a row where I watched all three of them like on Halloween, where it was like, yes, I will marathon these movies for Halloween because I think they're fun movies. And just like, oof, I do not have the ability to sit down and watch that much content in a row anymore. You know, mostly to being old, and also, I mean, I'm not that old, but you get the arthritis in the knees, and sitting down for a long period of time hurts. And, oops, I actually can't see the entire name of this color palette. Well, the name of the color palette is Granddad 4 by Starland, and oh my god, that does not look as good as it did for well, actually, okay, now I'm feeling it a little bit more. It's a nice color palette. There was a point where I was like, and I know I keep saying this, where I was like, I should do Mario Land 2 as this one, because it would be funny, because it's kind of, you know, the granddad. You know, there's like some kind of joke about that of someone playing like, oh, we're at the end of the level. Cool. I'd never noticed Syrup's portrait in the background. She's just like yeah, I'm being painted. What the fuck ever. That's such a good face. And you know, yeah, sure, we can fight the genie. Oh god, I feel like this genie has a name, like Dimpu or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember. We'll use the Granddad color palette to finish it off. Why not? It's not my favorite one that we looked at, but you know, it's not bad. Everyone being a little blue is a little weird, though. Like, I mean, if it's the genie, like, yeah, the genie's blue, sure. Wario being blue is like, oh, I guess we've unlocked a zombie Wario, like, one game too early. And, let's go ahead and... Is there a secret to making this thing land the way you want, or is it just entirely RNG? I don't remember all that well. Oh, the little Dimpus shoot out lightning at you, I believe. And I'm just gonna call him Dimpu, because I don't remember. I'm gonna, you know, let's find out. You know, I said this was a screwing around video, so let's go ahead and, like, come on, let's find out what this genie's name is together. You know, we'll go on this little journey. And I actually already had the Wario Land thing open because I was trying to figure out what levels I wanted to play. Oh, his name's just Genie. Yeah, it's a Genie. Oh, Japanese name Dimpu. Guess who's a genius? It's me. Cool. I wonder if Dimpu just means genie, or if it's just a cute little name. I mean, it probably means something, obviously. Maybe it means genie. Maybe it's a cute name. Who knows? I mean, Dimpu, I mean, it's the ooh that's making me like go like, oh yes, it's a cute name, and I don't think I'm gonna be able to make that jump thing. Will it make another cloud? I think we only get one cloud. All right, that's fine. I mean, oh, and it immediately gave us what we wanted. That's, oh, and I missed, I mean, I almost stomped on Serp's face, which would have been, you know, not exactly what we're, oh, can we jump? Oh, yeah, we can jump off the little boys. The little boys, if we jumped off, would have been helpful. And this is almost about to be the end of the video if I get got. Nah, man, we're not gonna, oh, no, he did move. Nice, cool. I thought that, oh, man, if I would have just stayed on that stupid thing just a little bit longer, had I jumped off the oh. Oh, I've messed this up like 4 different ways in like the period of like 5 seconds. Let's go ahead and get out of the way. Kill the small genie, which I could have jumped off again, which my brain just didn't work great. We'll keep it cash, you know. No need to rush, no need to panic, you know. Just because, see, I'm starting to panic because it's like I would like to defeat the genie for the end of this video. It'd be nice, but also it's like, oh, I have only 1 hit left, so you know, I'm just panicking a little bit, but that's fine, you know. We'll go ahead and chill out. We're not gonna let, I was like, oh, we won't let the speed up noise freak me out, but then I just missed the jump, so who knows why I missed that one. And I will swap color palettes now that we've defeated the genie. Oh, the genie has 4 hits. I thought he had 3, or maybe we've only hit him twice. I don't remember. Maybe he has 5 hits. Who knows? We're gonna run out of time. I don't think we ever ran out of time in the LP. That'll be interesting. Can you go ahead and, yes, give me what I want. Let's dodge the fire, jump on the genie. Is the genie dead? No, the genie's not dead. He wants me to hit him a 5th time. Let me jump off ye son. Oh, I thought I could jump off his son and hit him, but I had to go into defense mode. Oh, nope, and that cloud would have been a trap, unfortunately for us. So, oh man, I thought I could. Oh, and that was it. I accidentally bopped off the thing, and that was the end as we know it. And that's gonna be the end of this video. I'm gonna go ahead and swap the color palette again. And you know what? I'm just going to swap over to this one because I think it looks nice. I think it's a good looking color palette. I don't think I said it at the beginning of the video, but I knew I said it in the Mario Land 2, but I almost straight up used this color palette for the Mario Land 2 LP because I was like, damn, I do like the green a lot, and you know, it's pretty, you know, it's classic. It'd be nice, but I really like this Pokemon one. But before we end off this video, I'm gonna find out the name of this person who did Granddad 4. It looks like it's Starland, but my thing is cutting off the... Oh, no. Well, let me put a space in Granddad, because it's like Grand Space Dad 4. What if I do color palette? Ooh, oh, I think I spelled palette wrong. I did 2 L's instead of 2 T's, so my brain's bad. This isn't... I'm not finding the person who did the color palette. Oh. Low Spec, was that the website? This is the website. Granddad 4 by Starlane, not Starland, Starlane. The website I was using was Low Spec, and by using, I mean I googled color palettes and it was the first website that came up. So that's this video. We did what I wanted to do. I wish I had defeated the genie. I didn't, but it's fine, because I remembered his name, and, you know, knowing somebody's name is a way of getting power over them, and many stories of magic and wizards and genies, and we knew the genie's name. So in the end, we're really the winner, and I'm not just saying this because I've been defeated by that genie twice now. Once just now, and once because I didn't have enough money to get my face on the moon during an LP. No, that's the end of the video. Goodbye.